I'm not one of those people that tries to excuse themselves with the, you know, the phrase like, I'm not the one to say I told you so, but I told you so. No, I'm the type of person that goes against the grain. I'm the one that points the finger and says, I fucking told you so, and you didn't listen, and now you're finally realizing what the implications are. All right, so maybe I shouldn't explode about things like this, because there's been far more critical points of discussion, you know, that I've been part of, where people refuse to listen. But I just got off the phone with my friend, and he directed me to this article here on the website for WKBN Channel 27 in Ohio, here in Youngstown. And this is written by Amanda Smith, and it was updated July 25th, 2018 at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's less than 24 hours old. Still fresh news. The title of this is Unlikely Wildlife Causing Havoc in Mahoning County. They're talking about feral pigs. It's not unlikely. They've been talking about them migrating from southern Ohio up to northern Ohio for the last 8 years at least, maybe a decade. And I've been spotting them for 4 years in the wild, you know, because I go off the grid and I see these things. My one friend, Joe, he's the one that called me. He's the only one who's backed me up on that, because he's seen them too. And people ridicule us, and our own families don't believe us, and they say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're seeing. That's a southern Ohio thing. And it's like, you know what? You're going to realize only too late that these things are in the area. So I'm looking at the pictures here, and they're definitely feral swine. And the article goes on to read that there was a call on Monday night. They were contacting the police in Beaver County. The pigs were digging up their driveway. Goes on to elaborate how much property damage these things cause. They cost $1.5 billion each year in damages and control costs. Says they're not just a problem for farmers, but they can impact everyone. In Ohio, the state says feral hogs should be destroyed on site, but Beaver police weren't sure what to do. You weren't sure? .308 Winchester. You're not sure what to do? Get a Remington 700 and pop those suckers. Good Lord. Wasn't sure what to do. Chief Frost, Chief of Police over there in Beaver, says, the report says that they tried to wrap one of them up in a blanket. I don't know what they were going to do with it when they caught it. Why are you even trying to catch these things, much less wrap them up in a blanket? Because you think they're cute? I don't know. Does that little thing look cute? Not to me. Looks like I could get both of those with one shot, laterally. That's called a quiggly. But yeah, anyways, they're finally acknowledging it. Much, you know, much to my expectations. And it's only a matter of time until ODNR finally acknowledges that there's coywolves in Ohio. I've seen those too. All right, they refuse to say definitely that they exist, but I guarantee that they do. They're basically a hybrid of wolves and coyote. They're larger than a coyote, and they're aggressive. They're real cunning, and they're basically a super predator. And people are only going to realize when they start going and taking livestock down that it's going to be a problem. So again, people probably wonder why I put all these deer videos up, and it's basically to caution people about conservation and population control. Because unless you're actually doing something or being proactive as a community, what you're going to do is you're going to find that nature is going to adapt in a way that it basically not takes over the area, but causes problems in the area. And then people are going to go, oh, you know, there's 2,000 Canadian geese down at the park, and they're chomping at people's fingers because they want bread, and people are feeding them. We'll quit feeding them. You know, it wasn't just like 5 years ago. We had so many Canadian geese that they had to close down the park and round them up, and then once they rounded them up, they had to gas them. And then all the pedophiles, all the people who are like, oh, you know, fur's murder and animals have a right to life and all that stuff, they give a shit about you because you know, maybe you wear a leather jacket or you get a leather belt, or you eat a steak once a week, and they give a shit about you and your rights. But as soon as it comes to some animal, you know, that's an invasive species causing problems, spreading salmonella, decimating the ecosystem, eating all the grass, chasing people, making things uninhabitable, you know, to the local populace and the local ecosystem, and then people want to cry that you round them up when they're overpopulated to begin with, and you gas them. So now you're going to see that people are going to start complaining about these coy wolves. They're going to start complaining about deer in the city, and they're going to start complaining about the raccoon population, which is about to explode, if it hasn't already. And then they're going to start complaining about these feral hogs. So I tell you, rather than complain about it, rather than getting the police involved, you're out there in Beaver County. It's unincorporated. Go get your pistol. Pop a shot at them. You know? Take aim, but pop a shot at them. Guarantee you're going to have less problems if you're proactive, rather than spouting on the news what unlikely invasive species creating havoc. All right? You don't know havoc. You don't.